Welcome back to another episode of the CarterCast. I'm your host, Carter Bond. With me, it's the four-man football pod. We only have Dylan for a little bit on a time crunch today. Let's just get right into it. NFL playoffs last week was insane. Maybe the best wild card weekend I think we've ever seen. Unbelievable. I mean, the Jags come back. The Cowboys should hopefully ending Brady's career, which we called. And let's go back to the podcast last week a little bit. We kind of nailed every game.
I think Connor might owe some apologies, but other than that, I think we did pretty well.
The Chargers was the right play. The Chargers was the right side to be on. It was the right side to be on. I couldn't have predicted there would be the biggest comeback in playoff history. How could I have predicted that?
You have to handicap for the inept coaching. Is that
I'm
right?
not gonna lie.
We definitely were on the money for the pulse pretty much every game, though. I'm not gonna lie. Give us a round of applause. Does feel good to kind of, because honestly, that's when you kind of have the best data is from the whole season, and then obviously that's kind of when you know if you know yourself or not based on what we've seen from the whole season. And I feel like we were pretty much on the pulse, so it does feel good.
You know, I'm so not confident in Brandon Staley. Whenever they went up at halftime, that huge lead, I thought about cashing out. I looked at the cash out option. I was like, let me just take a little profit and get out of here. And I was like, you know what? No, there's no way the Jack come back from 28 whatever down. Ridiculous.
But he didn't get played. He didn't get outplayed for a half. He said, "Remember, he didn't get outplayed."
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I also want to bring up. I feel really bad for everybody that faded backup quarterbacks. You are broke. You are broke after this weekend if you faded the backup quarterbacks.
Dylan, you were on the money with a lot of those dogs. I gotta say, I didn't really take any. The only play I was heavy on was the Chargers and the Cowboys. So 1-1.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. You were dead on, but we talked about it. The way that game started, I would have been furious with myself if I had bet the Dolphins. I'm glad I just stayed away from it entirely. I didn't have anything in that game. And then Giants-Vikings over, easy cash for me, easy cash. And I'm glad I stayed away from the spread in that one. That was a fraud off. We knew it was a fraud off. And the Baltimore-Cincinnati game, I mean, props to you, Dylan. You were right on it, Baltimore. I knew to stay away. I stayed away from. And then at halftime, you can get Bengals -2.5. Are you kidding me? They're the best second half team in football. So the craziest thing is everybody's money line parlays and teasers mainly cashed this past weekend.
Oh yeah,
and every over hit except the Monday night game by a half point.
And that was the one under I took. That was the one under I took. It was sweaty. When they got the onside kick, I figured it was over. I'm not going to lie.
I did too.
You guys ready to talk about this week?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. Jags, Chiefs in Kansas City. -8.5 for the Chiefs, over under 53. Trevor Lawrence has never lost a game on Saturday.
This is I'm not officially on anything yet, but I'm leaning the Jags here just because I've taken the Chiefs earlier this year with a big spread. We've talked about it. They just don't cover these. And I know, regular season, they don't really care, blah, blah, blah. They haven't really shown anything to make me feel confident in taking them -8.5. I don't know.
You're exactly right. There's no reason why anybody should be thinking about taking the Chiefs. If anything, you would stay away if you don't want to take the Jags. But we've talked about it before. The Chiefs don't cover these big numbers. I feel like a lot of people think that there's a lot to be said about having the 1 seed, having that extra week. Last year, both 1 seeds lost in the first round. Tennessee lost to the Bengals, and the Packers were the 1 seed in the NFC, right?
I think so.
They lost to the 49ers. So
yeah, they lost to the 49ers. That's right.
I'm going to be on the Jags. Exactly what you said, Carter. Trevor Lawrence has never lost on Saturday. I feel like this is going to be the best game of the weekend, if you want me to be honest. And I think I'm on the Jags to cover. I think they win. I have a little bit on the money line, and I think that Trevor Lawrence sends Patrick Mahomes home early this weekend.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
I also want to.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I also want to say I did snag the Jags to win the Super Bowl 35-1.
There it is.
That's spicy.
There it is. So we went from spice level to 10 to 100 real quick, dude. Yeah, this is a stay away. It's what Dylan mentioned. I can't put money against the Chiefs. I kind of feel weird doing that, especially with how they're playing. But like you said, I don't know how you can bet -8. It's just a lot of points, man. It's a lot of points in a playoff game. It's a lot of points.
Guys, there's only 4 games. We can't stay away from anything. There's only 4
This
games.
is a stay away. This is a stay away.
Dude.
This one I'm staying away, boys. Like I said, I would love to be on the +8.5 with you guys, but I'd feel real dumb if it was 27-0 at halftime and I was on the other side. Even if they came back, I'd still be like, man, I knew it.
Okay, what if they're tied at halftime and you can get the Chiefs -2 or something like that? Then what?
Yeah, I'd hammer the Chiefs. In fact, it's probably what's going to happen. If they keep it close, I'm probably going to live bet the Chiefs and just live with the consequences. Probably exactly. I'm saying I don't have a pregame bet. That doesn't necessarily mean I don't have a live game bet. We all know how I get excited for that. So that's exactly what it comes down to. The pregame I just can't seem to take on either side, but I can see a live bet happening.
I'm 100% with Grant here. I don't feel comfortable 8.5 on either side. Like, I would lean Jacksonville, but I cannot make myself bet Trevor Lawrence on the road in Kansas City. Like, that game is completely different if that game is not in Jacksonville last Saturday. And also, like, the first half did happen. Like, we have to remember that. Like, that game, the Chargers should have been up by 40 plus, if we're being honest. They blew some chances. 4 interceptions in the first half. Like, I know that's an anomaly. That's not going to happen again.
And a drop punt. 5 turnovers.
And a drop punt. Obviously, that's not going to happen again. But I don't know. I'm putting myself in a pretzel because also the Chiefs are going to come out rusty because we always see that the 1 seed that has the bye always comes out rusty in the next game, in their first game in the NFL playoffs. I don't
Carter,
know.
but just think about that. Think about how juicy that live is going to be. Like you said, when they come out rusty.
That's why I said
it's beautiful. It's setting up for just a beautiful like live bet. It just sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'll just wait. I'll just wait if there's a live bet, and if Chiefs win by 1,000, I'm not going to be mad at myself missing out.
Grant, what about Jags first half? If you think Kansas City is going to come out slow,
I don't hate that.
You don't take the underdogs on the first half normally, but
yeah, I don't hate that. But no, like I said, I think this is the situation where I'm hoping for the rust and hope I can get some value there from like a quick game.
I want to add real quick. It's worth noting that Butker's been awful this season, and that's going to matter somewhere. He was a great kicker last year, and I don't know what happened, but he kind of fell off. Also, Jaguars in the bottom 6 of the league in penalty yards given up on both sides of the ball, so that's something to consider too. They're not setting themselves back unless 4 interceptions, and they're not walking the opponent down the field on defense. So I don't know. AFC South, baby. Jaguars representing.
Carter, I might be speaking a little of your language here, but Christian Kirk anytime touchdown was kind of speaking to me a little bit. I don't know.
I was looking at that too. I was looking at that because for the parlay this week, I'm going to do mine a little different. I'm not going with the spread. I was thinking about a total, but I think I'm going to go with an anytime touchdown when we do the parlay this week.
We've been doing this podcast so long, boys. Like we have our love languages of how we bet though now. Like first half bets, prop plays. Like we just know how we think when we're betting now. It's hilarious.
The Chiefs are allowing, they're tied for the second most touchdowns allowed by receivers this year, 20. The only team, they're tied with the Titans. The only team that has allowed more is the Cowboys. So wide receivers might not be a bad idea for anytime touchdown scorer.
I might sprinkle a little Zay Jones too. Who knows?
All right. So Jags, and then live bet by Grant and I. All right. There we go.
I'm going to get on the Jags for a unit. I'm going to ride Dylan here on the Jags.
All right. Next game, Saturday night, the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles -7.5, over under 48. I'll start this one off. I love this over. It just feels like it's going to be points in this game.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Well, because it's a divisional opponent. This is the 3rd time they've played each other, and divisional unders in the regular season are cash, let alone the playoffs when they're playing for a 3rd time.
Daniel Jones looks like Michael Vick, though.
Yeah.
Dude, running the ball like every other play, bro. It's insane.
That was pretty neat to see last week.
He had more design runs I think I've ever seen, like a quarterback, and he's not. I mean, it was wild, bro. It's like every other play. It was crazy.
Is Dayball coach of the year now? I think he has to be.
It's hard not to give it to Campbell, but I think you can make a point for that. I think you can make a point for.
Oh, I think it's Dayball. I mean, he made the playoffs and won a playoff game, obviously, because they already did the voting, right?
They had like nothing, bro. They didn't add that much.
Well, their best
And
receiver is
also-
Isaiah Hodgins, who was on the Bills practice squad 5 months ago. I don't know. I think what Daniel Jones is doing is insane. I think a lot of credit's got to go to Dayball as well. But I mean, if Dan Campbell wins, I think that's very deserving as well.
But yeah, I like the over. I'm not gonna go crazy and be like 3-4 units on the over. Just a unit on the over. That's my only play in this one. I lean Giants in the points, but it kind of scares me that a lot of people are on the Giants and the line hasn't moved at all. So I'm just gonna stay away from that. But I think the Giants can win this game. Like I wouldn't be surprised. No outcome this weekend would surprise me. I'll say that.
What if Jalen Hurts is a lot healthier than people are letting on, though? He just comes out and it's the regular season Eagles and they dominate.
That's why I'm kind of staying away from Giants plus 7.5.
If you just look at straight talent level, I know the Giants are playing well. Daniel Jones is playing really well, but just straight talent level, the Eagles are so much better than them. And I think that's why the spread hasn't moved. I think there's a good chance the Eagles are back to their midseason form. They've looked a little off with the Jalen Hurts injury, but it's enough to scare me away from the spread. So I'm going to stay away from that. I think I may take the over with you, Carter. Sounds kind of spicy. I don't know. Night game, some points, but are we worried to kind of like regress this to the mean here with the overs last week compared to this week? You know, like what? Are they accounting for that?
The other games can all go under, and then it could just unders go 3-1. You know, we're gonna have an evening out period.
Bills Bengals is going under.
Could. You never know. That's the beauty of this.
I'm on nothing here. I would I'm kind of like what you guys were saying. It's really hard to tell with how well Daniel Jones played last week. I lean the Giants, but I can't pull the trigger because the Eagles might be back to eagling like they did in the middle of the season. Yep. I would keep an eye. I like to fade the narratives. I would keep an eye on Daniel Jones under his passing yards. I think a lot of people are going to overreact to the week he had last week. Even though he did most of it on the ground, he had a pretty good game in the air too.
Yeah,
I'm seeing 213.5. If you wanted to wait till game time, I bet it honestly gets up to like 220, and I would go under. It's easy to forget that the Eagles have allowed the second least amount of pass yards this season, and I think they're going to lock Daniel Jones down.
Okay, a little, but what if it's just garbage time passing yards? That's what kind of scares me.
What if they're down 2 scores and the Eagles are just playing, 10 yards off the ball? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it's a close game, though, I like that. I think if it stays close.
That's since I lean the Giants, I'm trying to not consider that scenario. I don't know. It's a tough one. Just something to keep an eye on if it goes up before game time.
Grant, anything in this one?
I think I might sprinkle a little money on the Eagles, bro. It kills me to say that with 7.5, so many points, boys.
Eagles first
But
half.
I was thinking about that. I don't know. I'm either I'm so torn between the first half or just biting the bullet and doing the minus 7.5. I can't take the Giants, bro, because like you said, it's a fraud off between them and the Vikings like we did last week. We saw that, and I just, man, if Jalen Hurts is back to form, it's just hard for me to put money against that team. So that's where I kind of lean that. But again, they're going to be rusty just like the Chiefs. Like, it's the same concept. Like, how can I take a first half bet there? So that's kind of where I'm a little nervous there. But they are one of the best teams at just jumping on a team early and just absolutely pounding them. Like, they're insane. Like, the first halves this year, they were dominant this year. So that might be the play. I lean, first half Eagles. Kills me to say that off of a rusty game, but we'll see. That's where I'm thinking.
All right. Like I said before, no outcome this weekend would surprise me. If you said Jags, Giants, if every underdog won, I would not be surprised this weekend. Like, I genuinely wouldn't. But anyhow, let's move on.
The Jags might surprise me a little bit. That would a little bit surprise me.
I don't think it would like shock me though.
I mean, it wouldn't be like the biggest upset ever, but I would be shocked if the Chiefs came out and laid an egg.
Yeah, I would too.
Cincinnati at Buffalo. Buffalo minus 5.5. Over under 48.5. Sunday afternoon game. What did this line open at? I thought it opened at like 3.5, 4, right?
I think it was, yeah.
Opened at 3.5, so it's bet all the way up to 5.5. And then if you look at the ticket money split, the Bengals have 69% of the bets. Bills 31%. And then the Bills have 60% of the money, so a 29% difference there. And the line has moved 2 points. The Bills are 5.5. Like, I feel like everything I know, like looking at line movement, all that stuff, just tells me I have to take the Bills.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah,
It
and
feels
also,
like that.
You go ahead, Carter.
well, if the right side of that Bengals O-line being out is a problem. Like, it really is. Joe Burrow is always going to, I feel like this is just going to be the theme in his career where he's just running for his life always. Like, he'll never have a stable offensive line ever. He's just like the dude, who always has a crazy girlfriend and like never gets out of it.
It's a tough one. I've gone back and forth on this one so many times. I have a $5 free bet on the Bengals, and I took the over at a bad number. I probably shouldn't have. It's just you look at these two teams, the Bills, Josh Allen, he's a great quarterback, but man, can he turn the ball over. Man, can he turn the ball over. And the Bengals have been on the winning side of a lot of those turnovers, and you have to start wondering, you have the Tampa Bay game going way back to then. Are they forcing these turnovers? Like, is it a skill thing for the Bengals, or is it turnover luck? I can't quite get to the bottom of it. If I were to take anything now, I probably will add some player props closer to game time. I would look at Dawson Knox receiving yards over. If you think the Bills are going to get off to a hot start, Joe Mixon rushing yards under. I think it's at like a 50, 48.5 I'm seeing. The Bills have been great against the run. So there's a lot of angles you can go here. I'm not quite sure. It seems like the sharps were on Bills 4.5 for what it's worth. So
I saw something about a little weather predicted this weekend. Is that true? Like 14-mile-an-hour wind, snow, chance of snow. Did I make that up? I swear somebody posted that and I saw it.
How many inches of snow are we talking?
I think a pretty substantial amount to where it would matter to a lot of people.
I see 35 degrees, 60% chance of snow. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that plays into the total. I think they're two high-scoring offenses. So if it does snow like that, people are going to overreact. So
they both do convert very well on third downs and in the red zone as well. So that's something to consider if you like the total. And their defenses are both average in those aspects. So I don't know. It's an interesting matchup.
This is one of those games with two high-octane offenses that's like, okay, this could be a shootout. This could be an instant classic. Like, they didn't get to play because of the Damar Hamlin injury. So now they're finally meeting up again. Damar Hamlin, he's probably going to be there. He's been around the locker room. Like, you don't think that fires the Bills up? That's another thing. I don't know. I think it could be a shootout. So I'm leaning on the over here. I'm not going to lie.
I'm out of here. Cowboys.
I might have to.
Cowboys will win. They're going to be
Cowboys plus 4.
Cowboy Nation. Cowboy Nation.
I'll see you guys.
All right.
Peace.
Well, Grant, we need to talk. We need to talk about this Bengals Bills.
All right.
Game. You know what time it is?
I have a pretty strong take on it, dude.
Not the full game. It's a first touchdown. It's Stephon Diggs time, baby.
Oh, it's for sure Stephon Diggs time. I agree with that 100%, by the way. I love that play. I'm with you on it. Love it.
Let me look it up. Let me look up the odds real quick and give me your take on the game.
Yeah, I'll put a couple units on that because it is time, bro. It is Stephon Diggs time for sure. But in saying that, I think the lasting image we have is the Bengals kind of coming out hot right against the Bills. So I think that's what everyone has in mind, right? It's like that 7. I think they're at 7-3, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it's about to be 14. It's about to be 14,
right? So that's kind of the
driving,
image we have. Yet even still, it's being bet up to plus 5.5. So like you said, Carter, everything is pointing towards the Bills. But in saying that, bro, give me the points, baby. Give me the 5.5. I'm taking that all day, dude. You give me 5.5, Joe Cool, I'll take it all day, bro. I can live with that. Like, they may not win the game, but plus 5.5, I will take that all day long. I'm going Bengals.
Carter, what are you taking here?
I think I'm going Bills minus 5.5. I'm not making an official play yet. I just feel like I have to. Like, everything is telling me to do it. I'm gonna wait till the last second. If I see this line go to 6, I'm smashing the Bills. I'm smashing the Bills, even at 6. Like, that just tells you everything what's gonna happen in this game. Like, just that late last second line movement in these games tells you everything that's gonna happen. Like, let's go back to last week, for example. Let's see here. Giants, Vikings. The line was at 3 all week, right before kickoff. Moves down to 2.5. Giants win outright. The Ravens, Bengals is the perfect example. I mean, it was at 10. It went down to 8.5. And then right before kickoff, it closed at 7.5. And the Ravens still covered. So Like everything is telling me I have to take the Bills here. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. I really like this Bengals team. I have no statistical backing to taking the Bills over the Bengals by this many points. And part of me is just like, why don't I just go super square and do a Chiefs Bills money line parlay?
You know, one of those teams is losing though.
Are they?
I don't know. I don't know. Dylan was very confident in his little
Like
Jags.
I don't think both of them cover, but I do think both of them win.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the way to go. What kind of odds is that?
I'll look it up. I'll get the stats department on it real quick.
I got it right here. You said Bills and Chiefs money line?
Yes.
It's minus 140 is what I'm looking at.
That's a little steep for me. I don't like that. I don't like
It's
it that
much.
a
little steep.
Because
Yeah.
the Chiefs are minus 8.5, bro. That's huge.
Yeah. So anyhow, maybe I'll stay away from that. But I think I have to go Bills minus 5.5 here. And I do have an anytime touchdown pick for the parlay in this game. So
in this game.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll be taking it straight up, obviously, and in the parlay. And it's not Stephon Diggs, but Stephon Diggs' first touchdown will be played. It is tradition, divisional.
100%.
It's when it's the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. I have to take Stephon Diggs' first touchdown after that amazing moment. What was that? Was that 2 years ago? 3 years? That was 3 years ago, wasn't it? Two,
at least two, probably three.
Two. 2021, yeah.
Yes, two.
Can I get a backstory? Can I get a
backstory? If you guys scroll down, it's probably way down there on the Barstool Sportsbook page. You can find a video of us.
Yeah.
We had Stephon Diggs. For people that don't know, we had Stephon Diggs. I think there was like 6 of us there. Had Stephon Diggs first touchdown, and then we like doubled down on it mid-game. It didn't happen until the third quarter against the Ravens in the divisional round back in 2021. And we're like, oh my gosh. And we were already on a heater that night with the other games and stuff like that. And then I think it was like 1,100 plus 1,200. Everybody hit it, going nuts. That was awesome.
It was awesome. And that led to me hitting Patrick Mahomes' first touchdown as well, like the very next game as well. So, yeah, we went on quite a heater. That was like one of the best moments of sports gambling.
So for the vibes, I'm going to be on Stephon Diggs' first touchdown too.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go. All right. Last game of the weekend, Dallas at San Francisco. San Francisco -4, over under 46 in San Francisco. Before we get into this real quick, I did want to say, you guys were kind of clowning me, saying, oh, I kind of like the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. It's not looking that bad right now. They are a legit team. Also, I'm worried about the overcorrection because the Bucs were just that bad. Like we were on that. We knew Tom Brady, like everyone's like, oh, don't bet against Brady. Is like, no, he sucks. They're going to have to throw 50 plus times.
They threw almost 70. They threw almost 70 times.
Oh, what an amazing game that was. But anyhow, Connor, do you have anything in this Dallas San Francisco game?
This comes down to one thing for me, and I think it comes down to, do you believe Brock Purdy's for real? Do you believe they've played the easiest schedule, which they have since he took over? They haven't really played anybody. The defense has been really good. He's had the guys around him. Hasn't had to do a crazy amount. But for what he's been asked to do in his role, he's stepped up and he's done everything. This is a little different. The Cowboys defense is better, I think, than the defense that he's played so far. I don't know, though, because then you go back to the Bucs game, and it's like, yeah, the Cowboys smashed them. The Bucs are horrible. The Niners have been good all year. I'm not on anything right now. I think I've seen a lot of people on the Cowboys, and that makes me want to take the 49ers. Convince me. Sway me.
This is my play of the week, is the Cowboys +4. Plus, I'd even taken the +3.5. I saw +3.5 too. I feel comfortable with that. You give me a field goal in this game, I'm taking it all day. With the pure fact of what you just said, Connor, it's just like I'm betting against Brock Purdy here. And like the pressure moment, inexperienced kid, like in tough time, like he really, like we've had one game where they had to come from behind. One game.
It was the Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, and like exactly, we're talking about the Raiders, not even a playoff team. So it's like, I know people keep saying like, oh, he does this and he beats that. He does this and like he beats that. Like everyone always doubts him. I'm still doubting, bro. I'm still doubting. I'm still here, and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, bro. I'm hammering the Cowboys in this game just because, again, I trust in. I think the coaching staff has actually done a really tremendous job with the Cowboys. Like I actually think they've done a great job on both sides of the ball.
Yeah,
and I think they're a well-built team. Now, of course, the 49ers have more weapons. I agree. They have better, like they are a very, very talented team. But at the end of the day, push comes to shove. I love this Cowboys line, boys. Like, let's ride. I'm hype on it. +4 all day.
Cowboys +4 over here too. I love the Cowboys this weekend for everything Grant said. It's a little weird. We're kind of on all the same stuff. Like, I don't know if that makes me feel good or feel bad, but I love the Cowboys +4 here. Like, how can you not? Like, Brock Purdy, those throws were not that impressive in that Seattle game. And also, like, people.
The window's this. The window's that. If he'd done that against the Cowboys, those are picks.
And also, the thing is that people weren't talking about all year is that the Seahawks pass rush is so bad. You have all day to throw. And when you're going against Micah Parsons, if you watch that Bucs game, Micah Parsons was involved in every single play almost. You saw him touching Brady every single play. Like, whether it was after the throw, he at least got a hand on Brady almost every single play. He was in every tackle. He was everywhere. He's going to be all over this 49ers team. I think the 49ers can win, but if you're going to give me the points here, I'm going to take the Cowboys like Grant said. I love the Cowboys here. I'm going to take the +4. I honestly kind of lean under. I think it's going to be kind of a rock fight. I think these defenses are really good, and I think these offenses are kind of overrated.
It hasn't worked out well for me whenever I've been on the opposite side from most guys on this podcast. Both y'all are on the Cowboys. Dylan's heavy on the Cowboys.
Dylan's heavy on the Cowboys too.
Dylan's heavy on the Cowboys too.
I think just to show a unified front now, I have to take the Cowboys.
All right.
But
America's team.
If they come out and lose by
podcast.
If they come out and lose by 20, then I mushed it. So it's my fault.
It's whatever. You know.
Hey, join the party, bro. I feel comfortable with that, even if they lose. I feel like it's the right side of it, but we'll see.
And that's the other thing you mentioned, Grant, is like it's kind of like when we talked about the Dolphins Bills last week, is that like after I lose a bet, like I want to be able to say, you know what? I'm not mad at myself. Like, that was the right play. Like, I can't be mad at myself. Like the Dolphins last week, I was not going to take Skylar Thompson. I just couldn't. Like, whether 14's a lot of points, obviously, and they still covered, but at the start of that game, even Dylan was freaking out. Even he was like, oh man, like it's over. I know you're doing the reverse jinx thing, but he also genuinely felt it was over.
The thing with the Cowboys,
that's half of sports betting, though. Sorry, Connor, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
You're good.
But it's just feeling comfortable with like being able to, like, if you lose it, bro, you can feel at least like you can sleep at night knowing that you lost it on the right side. It's not always gonna work, obviously, but like I can't just like lose money on just terrible. Like if I had lost money on the Dolphins, like how mad would you have been? That's what I'm saying. That's the difference. It's not like if I won, I'm like, man, I feel lucky on that one. But if I lost, I'd be like, I'm literally such an idiot.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, and that's how. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but
no,
Cowboys +4. I'm not going to be mad if that loses. I'm not.
Well, you know, Dak's going to be under pressure. And the thing is, he ran 7 times last week. That's more than he did all season. He only had 6 rush attempts or less in every game. Ran 7 times last week. Had that QB boot on the fourth and goal, I think it was. If he can scramble under pressure against this Niners defense and make plays with his feet like he did last week, I feel really good about that bet. I really do. Because if he can actually get out of the pocket and make a play like he did last week, I like it.
All right.
I agree.
There we go. Should we just build a parlay real quick?
Let's do it, bro. I'm hyped.
We're gonna have to build.
Right.
We're gonna have to build this one.
All right, Grant. I think we know your pick.
Yep. Cowboys +4, +3.5, whatever it is. Put it in, bro. That's
right,
mine.
Cowboys +4. And then Dylan's was Cowboys +4. He said if that doesn't work out, give him Jags +8.5.
Oh my gosh.
Connor.
I hate to do this. I might be the one that ruins it this week, but I'm taking the under in the Jaguars Chiefs.
All right. Jags
I'm taking
under 53.
53 is what it's at right now. I'm taking the under 53. Call me crazy.
I don't hate that, bro. I don't hate that.
Well, here's the thing. I'll give a little reasoning behind it. Since we all love the Jags this week, well, not all, but Dylan did, and I said I liked them. If they cover, I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I really don't think it'll be like I don't think it'll be 31-30. Oh, Jags win, but I don't think that. I think it'll go under. 53 is a lot of points. It's the highest total of the weekend by 5 points. So, give it to me.
Wow.
All right.
Fair point.
All right. So we have Jags Chiefs under, Jags +8.5, and we also have Cowboys +4. And then I'm going in the anytime touchdown parlay, or not parlay, I guess. Josh Allen to run one in +140.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep, it's happening. He's so due to have one. He hasn't. I don't think he's ran one in what 2-3 weeks. He's so due to run one in. Oh my gosh, I just see it. I see it right now. That's like one of my favorite plays this weekend is Josh Allen anytime touchdown plus 140. So that's the parlay this week. Let me get the odds on that real quick because that sounds.
While you're doing that, the DeMar Hamlin game, I was heavy on Josh Allen rushing yards, heavy, and it looked good after the first drive and a half. I might take it again because they obviously didn't end up finishing that game. I might hammer his rushing yards again, whatever that line is. I think it might be in the 50s. We'll have to see.
Alrighty, and then I'm adding this. Ooh, it's looking kind of nice. It's looking kind of nice, fellas.
It's cooking up nice, bro.
So
Josh Allen rush yards is 48.5. I think I'm taking that.
So it's plus 1,500 odds, the parlay this week.
Really?
Plus 1,500. That's why I wanted to add a little plus money dog in there.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's the parlay. We went quick today. Do we have anything else, really?
Boys,
I'm
it's
excited.
kind of sad. We gotta enjoy these next few weeks because this is it for a while.
Oh,
I saw a glimpse into it.
And just so everyone knows, I know we didn't do it like all at once. Let me do it real quick. This week's NFL parlay this week is Jags Chiefs under 53, Jags plus 8.5, Josh Allen anytime touchdown plus 140, and then Cowboys plus 4 against the 49ers plus 1,500 odds. There we go.
What?
There we go.
We've earned the right to showboat a little bit. You can put in a plus 140 touchdown score. You know why? Because we've been money all year. We've been hitting parlays left and right. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to show a little flair. I like it.
Yeah, instead of winning our typical 12 units we always do on these parlays, now it's going to be 15 units. We're going to be swimming in cash. We're going to be chilling. But anything else really? Like not much to talk about.
Yeah, I got one thing. We, like Grant was saying, we got to enjoy these next few weeks of football because I saw a glimpse into my future today, putting $100 on Killian Hayes NBA player prop and watching him score 4 points. So if that's a glimpse into my future, I got to go up on some units on the NFL before the season ends or something.
I know.
Like, he's like, we got 4 games. You got to play the 4 games.
You have to. It's my last chance here.
I love
that's
it.
That's the thing. We're getting into basketball season. It's kind of sad. I love basketball. I mean, basketball is my favorite sport, but it is kind of sad we're losing football. Like,
yeah.
And also, college basketball has been a little
snooze fest.
There's no
it's
like
been a little
great
weird
player.
this year. It's been a little weird this year.
There's no like great player. The NBA's hitting that lull period where right before the All-Star break, these guys are dead.
Yep.
They don't really care about these January games. Like, I'm going to Jazz Hornets Monday. LaMelo's not even playing. LaMelo's not even playing. He might not ever play ever again. Yeah, his season's over. But yeah, no. I mean, we're just kind of talking now. I guess this is what it is on the end of the show right now. The story time last week. That was close. That was a close call there.
You dodged the bullet.
Yeah, dodged the bullet there. So Justine, this will be a little story time right now. We're driving down. I think we were going to the Gonzaga BYU game. Awful game. That was ridiculous. JV inbound passes. Anyhow, we're driving down. She goes, "Let's listen to the podcast this week." I'm like, no, I don't. Obviously, I don't want to hear my own voice. I have to hear my own voice editing all the time. Like, I hate hearing my own voice. Anybody does. And all of a sudden she's like, "What were your Super Bowl picks?" And right after the Super Bowl picks is the story time where I'm like talking about Justine or whatever. And I was like, nope. So she like runs through it, and then we're sitting there, we're driving, and it's about to end. And then you were doing the host thing, and you're like, "All right, let's do a little." And then I just slammed the radio. I said FM radio. I just switched the music immediately. We weren't listening to that.
That would have been a catastrophe because you were on the way to a basketball game. Oh, that would have set the tone. She would not have said a word the whole game. That would have set the complete tone.
No, we would have had to leave. We would have had to leave early. No doubt about it.
That's great.
I would have just turned the car around and just ate the tickets. But yeah, do you guys have anything else before football ends? Like conference champion, or you got the conference championships next week, and then Super Bowl. It's like kind of sad.
It is kind of sad. It's dwindling down. It feels like we were just here. It feels like last year's Super Bowl was, a month ago maybe. And here we are at the end of the year.
Oh, the Super Bowl props show we're going to do is just going to be bananas.
I will say that will be dope. I will say though, with the transfer portal, it's kind of added a whole different nuance to the offseason college football. I'm kind of a fan, man. I kind of love it. I know we're not talking college football right now, but the whole transfer portal stuff has been really dope. Like you're getting transfer people coming in the entire like dead period of like recruiting. It's cool. I really like it a lot. Actually, it's fun to follow.
They add that NIL money. It looks like free agency all of a sudden, which is fun. So
it is getting wild.
That is true. But then also, real quick, we have interviews coming next week, Connor. We're back.
We do. We're finally back.
We're back. We got basketball interviews coming up next week. I don't want to just in
Back
case
to our
scheduling
roots.
not just in case scheduling gets mixed up. I don't want to name drop who we're bringing on yet, but we've got some awesome guests. A couple of them in the works. I am very excited about. There's a soccer interview that I'll just say this. I've never been more excited for an interview than this soccer interview that we just have to figure out a day in the next couple weeks to do it. But anyhow, all right, I guess that'll do it from us, right?
Yeah, that's all I got. Short little show today, to the point. Well, I'm excited for a great weekend of football. Yeah.
Quick show. Sorry we had to post it late, but scheduling conflict there. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Check out cartercast.com. Check out all our social media. Subscribe to the YouTube. Go ahead, do it. We got a lot of subscribers on there. Thank you guys. And I guess we'll see y'all next time.